Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Day. Today is Saturday, May 11th, and I'm your host, Bobby Higgins. It's always great when it's Saturday. Just love it when it's the weekend. We have a great show coming your way. Coming up, Michael will sit down with Allison Johnson from Soka University. She is one of the talented performers in the faculty music recital coming up on May 11th. And after that, President Beverly Elwell and Steve Tepper join us with the Cat Club, and they have a couple of adorable guests to introduce us to. And now let's take a look at today's Stay Informed. VMS is calling all interested Third Mutual members to submit candidate applications to fill 2 director vacancies on the VMS board. You can pick up your application and instructions from the office of the CEO located in the community center. Completed applications and candidate statements are due by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, May 22nd. And if you need any help or further information, just contact Corporate Secretary Michaela or Assistant Corporate Secretary Paul, and they will definitely get you all the help that you need. And now let's take a look outside at the weather. Today, it looks like it's going to be a pleasant weekend. We have partly sunny skies with a high of 74 and a low of 57. Tomorrow on Sunday, it'll be sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 57. Monday will be mostly sunny with a high of 73 and a low of 56. And now let's take a look at the sunrise and sunset. Here's a beautiful picture by Alan Clark. It just makes me think of spring is in the air with the little raindrops on that rose petals. Just lovely. And your sunrise was at 5:52 this morning, and your sunset will be at 7:42 p.m. tonight. If you would like to have your photo featured here on This Day, we would love to have them. So please email them to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Stay with us because we have Soka University coming up right after the break.
I want to welcome to our program from Soka University of America, Allison Johnson. Welcome to the program. You guys have a big recital coming up. But for folks who don't know about Soka University, you guys are over in Aliso Viejo. Tell us a little bit about the university itself.
Sure. Soka University, it's a private nonprofit liberal arts college, and we do have a graduate school of education, and it's in Aliso Viejo. It's just a beautiful setting. It's a lovely place, and I've taught there for over 10 years, and I frankly, I never want to leave. It's a very lovely place.
You're like one of the students that just don't ever want to leave, but luckily you got a job there, so you don't have to anymore, right?
Exactly.
So this recital that you guys put on, this is the 11th annual. Do you know what the history of it? Like, how did it all start? Just like the desire to kind of do a performance for the community?
I think it did. I think the students were, we engage with the students all year, and we love to present their works and see them through to the end of the year. And I couldn't tell you the exact impetus. I think we just wanted to share things we love to play, and we love to sing and perform. And a lot of us are composers and arrangers. And we did it one year, and it was kind of it was a big hit, so to speak. And so we just thought, yeah, we'll do it every year. Invite the community.
Now, I've been to performances at other colleges where sometimes the faculty are involved in the performance and the students, they play together, they play their own specialty feature thing. Is that a little bit of what you guys are going to be doing?
Well, for this, it's just faculty. The night before we really feature our students at the year-end recital. And this one is just faculty and often friends of faculty. For example, we have Alfred who plays trumpet. He brings in his brass ensemble. We bring in our friends who are also musicians. And it's just it's a treat for us, and it's kind of an offering to the students, the faculty, the community.
Okay, so inspiration, a little bit of inspiration in there as well. Now, there's some original pieces in this as well, right? That were composed by faculty?
Yes, several of us are composers on the faculty. I know Michael Golden, who plays piano, has a couple of his original pieces. Mina Choi, also a pianist, has some of hers, and I have as well a song from one of my musicals. And everyone is very creative. So besides being performers, composers, they're also arrangers, music directors, conductors. So we try to bring a little bit of everything.
Do you feel like the personality of the person who's presenting or composed the music comes out in their work? Do you say, "Oh, this is definitely a Bill composition"? I'm making up some names there, but do you feel like you get
Yeah.
a sense of the person when you hear a composition they put together?
I think that's a great question. And I think you're right on the money. I feel, well, I know everybody well enough. If I closed my eyes and I heard something start to play, I'd be like, yes, I know who wrote that. But sometimes we have surprises up our sleeve. But yes, that's a good way to put it, and we're trying to bring a variety of styles and eras. So that as well. But yeah, great question. We all bring out our personalities in our music.
Now, how do you guys go through like the solos, the order? Do you try to put it together like from an old album from the 70s or 60s where there's a theme kind of running it throughout the whole thing? Is there up and a down to the whole flow of the show?
I think that's a good point. And a lot of us have kind of worked in programming in other areas too. So yeah, you think about the audience too. We have everything from solo piano works to duos, I think we have a trio in there to larger ensembles. So I think we've always started out with the brass ensemble, Alfred and his brass ensemble, and it's just such an amazing, awe-inspiring opening. So I think it's like we're not gonna mess with that, programming. So we start with the brass, and then we just go into smaller ensembles, and we try to end big with a group ensemble piece. But yeah, we try to take people on a little bit of a journey.
Now, for a brass ensemble, that's a boom. That's a way to start something, right? That's not
Yes.
it's not
Yeah.
some strings creeping into the move, right? So you said a kind of early tone. Is it? Would you say the feel for the? I know you say you're going through a lot of eras and a lot of different styles there, but would you say it's a kind of an upbeat overall in terms of the concert?
I think so. I mean, I think there are some very personal and thoughtful pieces for piano that you're going to be hearing. But yes, overall, it's a very positive and optimistic concert. And that's how we like to leave it. And yes, we start out big. We want to wake up everybody. We want to wake up that audience too and have them enjoy the whole thing.
No napping, no napping at all.
That's right.
The public is also invited to this, and it's a free concert, which is kind of an interesting thing. Is that kind of part of the heart of what Soka is all about in terms of being part of the community?
It really is. We think globally, we like to be very inclusive, and we're also very mindful of the community and our surroundings and just the lovely people all around us. So yes, it was important for us to be very welcoming with this recital.
Now, are there going to be some spots? Sometimes there's some audience participation. Are you going to let the audience kind of come and play a little bit? Are we going
Well, we'll have to see. Actually, I'll give you a little a hint. We are going to end with a big tango piece, a very important piece by important tango artist Astor Piazzolla, and we might ask for some audience participation, at least in terms of the clapping the rhythm. So be prepared for that.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, if some folks come from Leisure World, they might get up and start doing a little bit of tango too. These folks like to dance. They
You
love
know
their
what?
outdoor concerts. They love their shows. So you
We
might get
welcome.
folks in the aisle jumping and moving around. Tell us a
We
little bit
love that.
tell us a little bit about the Performing Arts Center that you have there. It is an amazing venue for folks who haven't been there, and acoustically and just the look of
Mhm.
it and everything, right?
It's simply gorgeous. Yes, whether you've seen it from a distance or you've visited us before, it's just stunning, a beautiful thing to behold. But as you mentioned, we have a very important acoustician who worked on the hall. In fact, before he did our hall, he did the Disney um, uh, concert hall in downtown LA, and he actually joked that all the mistakes he made in Disney Hall he worked out before he designed Soka. So in some ways, maybe we have a superior sounding hall, but it's a beautiful thing to behold. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody.
All right, so for the concert itself, can you kind of take us through a little bit more detail, some of the eras, some of the things that we're going to be taking the audience through as we go through, and what are some of the specifics you can point out?
Sure. Well, we have different styles and different eras, as you mentioned. We all have our own specialties and different areas we love. We're going to have some musical theater in there, some kind of classical musical theater. If you love Phantom of the Opera, I have a new musical I wrote, and I have a piece from there. The brass ensemble, it looks like we're going to have kind of a couple of pieces written for brass ensemble, but also I think kind of a classic Frank Sinatra song in there. Um, as I mentioned, we're going to be ending with Astor Piazzolla's very famous tango called Libertango. And in the mix, we have some original pieces for piano, for smaller ensembles. So we have a lot to offer. Oh, I think there's actually going to be one of the themes from Cinema Paradiso, the love theme from there. So if you're a fan of that movie, you're going to hear a little movie music. So all across the board, some classics, musical theater, film music, originals.
Yeah, I noticed you had
So
one called Polka Dots and Moonbeams. I'm already liking that. That's
yes,
a fun one right
I
there.
think that is, yeah, that's the Frank Sinatra song. I recognize that name, and then I looked it up. I'm like, yes, I know that classic song. So I think it'll be a lot of fun.
What's it take to prep for something like this in terms of the rehearsal time and the organization? Is this months of planning to get to this point where you guys are ready to perform here?
Well, it makes me think of that joke is if you're in New York and you ask someone how do you get to Carnegie Hall, and the answer is practice,
Right.
practice. So it's we're all seasoned musicians, and so many years of practice. But we're always aware that we're going to do this at the end of the term in May, and so I think in the back of our minds we're thinking, what would we like to contribute this year? So I'm sure for weeks we're thinking what works well. We gather our friends together, see who's available, and I would say weeks of planning go into this, but years of practice and at least and just as you all are, as we are, we're just music fans, and that's our biggest takeaway. We just want to share music.
We'll talk about the stuff that you've composed. Do you sometimes feel a little bit precious or a little bit like this is my baby when you present your own composition and say, okay, here's where I want to go with this? Is there a sense of ownership to that?
I think that's fair to say. I was talking with my students the other day, and sometimes, I just asked them to revisit something they wrote earlier in the term, and they get a little cringy about, oh, I can't believe I wrote that. And I'm like, look, welcome to the club. Something we wrote years ago, we hear it again, we're just a little cringy, but you just have to power through, and it's about sharing your artistic effort, and that trumps everything else. So I think you just have and just to have the chance to share musical works is an honor. So we're just grateful to do it.
Right. And so after you've performed one of your pieces and when you get through this concert, what do you get a sense of in terms of the community and the accomplishment? Is it like just a relief? Oh my gosh, there's enough of that, or is it kind of like you really like? Oh man, I could do this tomorrow night.
I think it's the latter. It's so lovely to hear the audience being engaged, and and when we can, of course, I love to come out and talk to people, and so I love to hear people's take on it. We often hear from people who are musicians or were musicians, and or they have a take on the specific music. So we love to hear it. It's a high. It's a really wonderful feeling.
Sounds fantastic. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to recap quick for folks. It's the 11th annual Soka University Music Faculty Recital. It's going to be Saturday, May 11th at 3 p.m. at Soka University in their Performing Arts Center. Fabulous campus. Get there early and walk around a little bit. It's a beautiful campus, and they get to the show. It's
Yes.
absolutely free, and it sounds like it's going to be a great show. Allison, so thank
I
you so
hope
much for
so,
joining.
yes. Of course. Thank you.
Thank you. And you're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
The King Living mid-year sale is on now. 5 decades of Australian furniture design, crafted for a lifetime of comfort. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale on now.
Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now from the Cat Club is President Beverly Elwell and also Steve Tepper, Relinquishment Director. Welcome. So nice to meet you guys today.
Thank you.
And
It's
I
nice to
love
be
that
here.
we have some furry friends with us. So I know you're going to introduce them in a moment. Beverly, tell me, you're president with the Cat Club. Tell me about, your passion for this club.
Oh, my passion goes deep. I had cats as a child and lots of cats as an adult, and I've really grown to respect them in addition to loving them because they're resilient. We have found that our cats, some of them have been through an awful lot, and yet they're still capable of love. They've got a lot to give. They're excellent companions, excuse me, and that's where my passion grows. And as far as the club goes, you meet the most amazing people in the Cat Club.
Yeah.
The stories are fabulous. They're wonderful people. And so it's both love and fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I've always been a cat person myself and begged for one when I was a child. And when I went off to college, got my first cat on my own. And I knew my husband was the one when the minute he walked through the door, my cat walked between his legs.
I can relate. I can relate.
So Steve, you're the Relinquishment Director. Tell me, what does this mean? What all do you handle?
Well, when an owner needs to give up a cat for whatever reason,
Okay.
and they're in the Cat Club or the Village, they can take advantage of our program, the
Okay.
rescue program, and we have fosters, and we temporarily house them with them, and then we try to find a forever home for them.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so tell me, there's a lot of stuff that goes in the difference between a cat who has been pre-owned as opposed to a stray cat. Tell us about, the differences and what all that entails.
Well, the big difference is the amount of money we need to expend on the cats because we don't know anything about the stray cats. So we're starting from square one. So that could cost us several $100s, maybe even get them spayed, vaccinations up to date, and everything could cost us almost $1,000.
Oh, wow.
And a pre-owned cat, so to speak, maybe only to get the shots up to date, just maybe 300 or so.
Okay.
There's a big difference in cost for the club.
Wow.
So we depend on donations, and we are a 501(c), so it's tax deductible.
Okay. Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
And then, so you have people here in the village who foster cats when they come in and until they get adopted?
Yes. Yes,
that's
the
great.
fosters are the best people on earth. They're willing to accept a confused, frightened stranger into their home who may pee on their rug or climb up their curtains. I mean, these are really the biggest hearted human beings, like the Steins, who took in Susie and Sammy and then the 3 kittens.
So tell us about Susie here in the cage. She's just chilled, hanging out there. It's a pretty unique story.
Yes, it is. Do you want to tell it, Steve, or shall I?
You shall.
Thank you, thank you. We got a call from Richard and Linda Stein that 2 cats very young cats were in their backyard frequently, and they were very concerned because of the coyotes. So Lonnie went out there. He's our director of adoptions, of lost and found. And he said, we can capture them, but we don't have a foster right now. And can you take them in for a while? And they agreed to do it.
Oh.
And then we took her to the vet the next day. We took them both to the vet, found out they were females. Very next day, they said, Susie is not pregnant, but she was. And our hearts sank because we thought we'd separated these kittens from their mommy. And that was on a Monday. On a Wednesday, we had a meeting featuring our friends from Smitten with the Kittens who told us all about newborns. And believe me, newborns are not the equivalent in care of taking care of adult cats, okay?
They're a lot of work.
In any case, to make a long story short, Thursday, we got a call from someone saying there are kittens under my air conditioner. 3 kittens. So we went out there, we waited for the mother to come back, and she didn't, so we decided we can't wait. They usually can only last a day or 2
Wow.
without nourishment. Yeah, they die fast if you don't get them some nourishment and warmth. And so Jody, who was our foster director, she said, Susie's still lactating. Let's take her over there. And it was like a miracle happened. We put the kittens down. She ran right to them. They cuddled around her. They started feasting. She licked them all over. It was a big homecoming. And the 4 of us are standing there going, wow. Honestly, wow. We may have reunited her with her original family. And you have the picture up there of Susie with her
The babies.
with her babies. I don't know, can you see Susie? Is she coming out at all? Is she facing you at all?
Yeah, she is facing,
Okay.
and yeah, they've been getting some cute shots of her face.
She's
But there
quite
she is with
a
the little
girl.
kittens. Wow, and they're so tiny.
Yes, they were. They were only a few ounces. And the Steins were assigned to weighing them every day.
Okay.
And that's how we knew that they were getting nourishment. And pretty soon, they are going to be separated from mommy. I thought this was going to be a tragedy, but it turns out that the mommy cat pretty much decides that she's had enough, and she distances herself. Yeah, she's not Mother Teresa anymore. She's cat on a hot tin roof, right? So she wants to be with her friends. She wants to go out, and that's when we separate them. And Smitten with the Kittens is going to foster the kittens for us, the babies, which will be great.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
a happy ending.
So that everyone will find a happy forever home.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we'll
And
do
that's,
it.
so when Susie was found in the backyard of the Steins, how far away were the kittens found?
It's hard to say. It's the same neighborhood,
Okay.
same 2
General
gates,
area.
right? Yeah, same area. But it was quite a distance.
Okay.
But if a mama cat needs food, she's gonna keep going until she gets it.
Right.
And the Steins were feeding them, I believe, so they kept coming back. And but it's hard to say, but we like to believe in miracles.
Yeah.
So we're going with, we united her with her kittens.
With her babies, and she took to him so immediately. Yeah, just what an incredible story.
Yeah, she's resilient, all right.
And so, Steve, tell us about Belle here. So she's one of the...
She's one of the strays
Okay.
that we found, and she's not feral. She's totally domesticated. As you can see, she's pretty calm. Well, except for that.
Well, now she's
Of course,
gonna
right
act
then.
up.
She's
She's
like,
been
hey,
out
wait a
for a
minute.
while.
You didn't let me walk where I wanted to walk.
Yeah. And she's available for adoption. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
She's an absolute sweetheart. She was good at the vet. She was calm and she's just a doll, and she'd be good with other cats, I think, too.
So she's ready for adoption at any time then?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
And then I understand we have some other cats here seen on the slide that are ready for adoption as well. And Beverly, you were saying that this actually is quite a few cats for you guys.
All at once, yes. To have 11 or 12 is the max for us. Generally, we have maybe 5 or 6, and but we're really getting bombarded now because of the stray situation. So that's pretty much the tale there.
Okay. And what does it entail for somebody to adopt? Like, what all do they have to do?
They can go to our website, lagunawoodscatclub.com, click on forms and get our adoption form. They must fill that out first. That goes to Patty Moss, who's our director. She looks it over, and then we go out to the house and we do what is called a safety check to make sure there's no way the cat can get out that they might not realize.
Okay.
And then we take them to see the kitty, and hopefully it'll be a match.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing the cats with us and telling us about this amazing story. It was really, really, really heartwarming.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Really, thank you very much.
Well, if you would like to join the Cat Club's mission or become a foster parent, or if you have any questions, then contact the Cat Club through their email at lwcatclub@gmail.com, or you can call Beverly at 215-896-7054. Stay with us because we'll have more of This Day right after this.
Tickets are on sale now at the Pack for the California Club's entertainment event, Kenny Cetera's Chicago Experience, a tribute to the band Chicago. Saturday, August 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at the Pack. Kenny and his 7-piece band with a 3-horn section will produce the true sound of the original Chicago band. The evening will highlight all the best of Chicago with songs like 25 or 6 to 4, Hard to Say I'm Sorry, and If You Leave Me Now, and more. You don't want to miss this one.
Welcome back to This Day. It's time to take a look at today's movie presentation here on Village Television. Today's movie is Hollywoodland, starring Adrian Brody, and is being brought to you by Saddleback Memorial Care. Showtimes are 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. This movie is an exploration of fame and identity, inspired by one of Hollywood's most infamous real-life mysteries, which occurred on June 16, 1959. The glamour of Tinseltown permanently fades for actor George Reeves, the heroic Man of Steel, on TV's Adventures of Superman, as the actor dies in his Hollywood Hills home. And now let's take a look at some announcements and events happening here in the Village. The PC Club is having their next meeting on Tuesday, May 14th at 7 p.m. in Clubhouse 7. This month's topic is the future of broadband in Laguna Woods. Plus, there will be workshop updates and information about upcoming classes. Not a member yet? Well, it only costs $10 to join. Concerned Citizens presents American Marriage in Decline on Thursday, May 16th in Clubhouse 7 at 3 p.m. Come join speaker Dr. Suzanne Model as she reviews the book Two-Parent Privilege: How Americans Stopped Getting Married and Started Falling Behind. Now let's take a look outside at the weather. It looks like it's going to be a pleasant weekend. Today we have partly sunny skies with a high of 74 and a low of 57. On Sunday it'll be sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 57. Monday will be mostly sunny with a high of 73 and a low of 56. And looking ahead to Monday on This Day, we will have the Village Breeze update and also the Democratic Club. So make sure you tune back in for that. That's it for us today. Happy Mother's Day this weekend to all you moms and grandmas out there. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. That's it for us here on This Day. I'm Bobby Higgins. Have a great day.